We are a couple on the cut, Cindy, Michael and our furry crew member, Toffee, and we live aboard our 57-foot narrowboat Tumbleweed as we seek adventure on the inland waterways of England and Wales. Glad to have you join us. Welcome aboard.
Good morning everyone, hope you're well. It's Friday the 26th of September and we're currently still moored up in Rugby, although we have had some good news that CRT are considering opening the locks, or some locks, in October, which will allow us passage through to where we want to go, which is the Kennet and Avon, where we'd like to spend Christmas in Bath. So that's really good news, but we're waiting on more information for them to clarify and confirm when that's going to happen, and exactly what locks will be open, and there'll be time restrictions, but it will allow us to move, so that's really good news. But while we're moored here, we thought we'd show you our boat, so let's have a look. So this is Tumbleweed. She's a 57-foot narrowboat, and the steelwork was built by David Reeves, and the fit out inside was done by Darren Roberts Narrowboats. She was registered in 2014, so she's 11 years old now, but let's go on and have a look. So just stepping onto the stern area. Love these Blackstone iron seats, although I don't use them when we're travelling, because I think they're referred to as suicide seats, but if something does catch the prop and knock me off, that's not a good idea, so I always stay stood up when I'm steering, but they are nice to sit with a glass of wine in the evening. But it's a semi-trad stern, so we have some social area on the stern, so if I'm driving or Cindy's driving, the other one can always sit with Toffee and have a bit of a social interaction. And the boat is a reverse layout, which equally we thought about that kind of social stuff, so that's why we went for a reverse layout. But underneath here is the engine room, and there's a Canal Line 35 engine with a PRM 150 gearbox and a hospital silencer, which makes the boat lovely and quiet, especially when you're off the boat. You can't hear the engine. In fact, many anglers have said, is that an electric boat? Because they can't hear it, although you can hear the engine when you're stood here steering, obviously. And that's the view that you have down the boat with the pram cover up. Obviously when we're cruising, that's down. So let's take you inside. So I've opened the doors, so we'll take you down into the boat. Toffee, are you going to show us the way? Come on then. Good girl. So it's a reverse layout. That means that the galley is at the back of the boat. It was one of our tick boxes really, because we thought it was more sociable than the bedroom being there. So if I'm on the stern or Cindy's on the stern, one of us is making lunch or drinks, we can talk to the driver. So that we really like it that way, rather than, like I say, traipsing through the bedroom. So this is the entrance. This is the rev counter and the ignition that's inside the boat, so when the boat's locked up, that's really useful because obviously it's a bit more secure. We have the electric cupboard in here with our Victron inverter and our solar MPPTs, along with some other gubbins that I don't quite understand. And we have our fuse panel. And the batteries that used to be in the engine room are now down here. You can't see them very well there, but that's what they call the boat battery. It's a cabinet with the batteries are in the back. If you can just see there, the batteries in the back of that cabinet. And then all the electronics, which obviously came with it, in the cabinet, and the cabinet was just dropped in place and wired up. So that's a lithium system which we find really useful in terms of being able to run our immersion eater, air fryer and things without too much issue. And there is our water level meter, which I understand is a 450 litre tank, and that's currently half full. So that's due for a top up with the water freedom system. And here we have the Victron display, which basically gives our percentage battery charge and what watts we're using and what the solar panels are currently using. That is our thermostat for the Webasto heating, which is automatic and set for various temperatures through the day, and that will come on automatically. Our electric isolation that we would use in an emergency, and then we've got the sink area on this side with the toaster and the kettle. As I say, with the lithium we're allowed to, well, not allowed to, we're able to use the electric kettle and toaster. And this side we have the microwave and the oven and separate grill. The fridge is below that, and then in this cupboard we have the freezer. That is 12 volt, and I don't know if we've mentioned Dustbin Hoffman. I think we have, but Dustbin Hoffman lives under there, which is our robot hoover, which on command will come out and do the hoovering, which is a godsend for us. That saves any bickering about who needs to do the hoovering. By the way, talking about bickering about hoovering, there's Cindy. She's in the boat, and this is the cooking area. I spend a lot of time in here. I love cooking and I really like this area. And again, it's sociable because as you come through, oh yes, let's show you this. This is a retirement gift to ourselves, and it is a clock that actually tells you what day it is. I know it sounds ridiculous, but when you're retired, you do genuinely need that because we don't know what day it is and we have to check. So you come from the galley into our office area, and that's where Cindy will sit and do most of the editing for our YouTube channel. And we'll show you that now taken down, because that's a foldable table, which helps with space, because we didn't have a dinette in this boat and we didn't want one because generally we sit with food on our laps. So this area is just a little office area and the printer is on there, but we can fold that table down and show you what's underneath. And there we are with the table and chair neatly folded away. Clever little hinges for the table. They're lockable, so they fold down and then lock back up again. And then underneath the kitchen work surface, or the galley work surface, I keep saying that, is the washing machine. And just a little office cupboard. And Toffee deciding to move that away, very wise. And our seating area, which is a full-size 3-seater, which folds down into a double bed. Well, this is generally books, maps for, I think it's Nicholson, isn't it? We've got.
Yeah.
And across to our sound system, which is our radio, DAB radio and Bluetooth, and the speakers are one there and one there. And this is Cindy's art gear, most of her, well, all of her pencils and most of her art gear. And then the television. And this is something that we had the idea to do. So basically it's the door going into the bathroom. But we saw online there were these book spines that you could download digitally, print on card, cut them out. So we thought, right, we'll put some masking tape across the door, which that is the normal colour of the door. So we mask taped these areas, and then we painted the sections black, and then we stuck the books on with wallpaper paste, which we think is quite effective. We love that. And this is our diesel reflex heater, and the kettle that I think is made for it because it fits exactly on top, which is really good. So when it's on, we tend to use that kettle. And the trivet down there is for a casserole pot that we put on there. I think I've done a short with that actually. And that simmers our casseroles for 5-6 hours, especially if we're cruising in the winter. That's really, really good. And that's our heater. So that's the saloon, office and galley area, and the view back down the boat. We'll put the gunnel lights on and show you those when it's dark, and we'll just add that to the video. But interestingly, these are the controls for the lights. There we are. So basically you can choose your colours and effects and turn the lights on. You can probably see them just down there now coming on, but this looks really nice at night. We like that colour, but you can change the colours, but that's the controller for that. And I'll just get Cindy to show you our latest purchase, which is our fly screen because of my phobia of flies. But this is our hatch, so we open the hatch up. Lovely and airy, very light, especially if I'm cooking. It's really useful, but because I hate flies so much, we bought this. How sad are we to be excited by that? Yep, it's very good. I'm very pleased with that. And I will get Cindy to lead us through into the bathroom.
This is our shower room, but we still call it a bathroom. It is a walk-through bathroom, and although it can be heated by a towel rail radiator, it is also heated by the stove just inside the saloon, which actually heats the whole boat and, if needed, can be left on low overnight if it is particularly chilly. The shower is a quadrant unit with a good pressure, and the water comes out lovely and hot.
If you have seen our previous videos, you may recall when we were moored in Tamworth, we purchased a freestanding gas strut ottoman bed and had it delivered to the towpath. I then had to remove the wardrobe in the fixed bed, as you can see it now. And this is what it looks like now we've finished. This is the view stood from the entrance to the cabin bedroom. And this is a view of the old bedroom looking down towards the cabin entrance from the bow doors. And this is what it looks like now. You will see that beneath the cupboards, where the pillows were on the bed, is now a wardrobe behind the curtain.
And as promised, here is our under-gunnel lighting at night. We think it is calming and relaxing before we head to bed. And Toffee seems to think so too.
We really hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, we'd really appreciate it if you would push the like button, the subscribe button, as it's totally free to do, and the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Oh, and also the new hype button. It would really help our channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now.